Taylor Frankie Paul got the chance to open up this morning as she tackles being the subject of a vicious news cycle. In the midst of making headlines for domestic violence allegations, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star and Bachelorette Season 22 lead joined Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos on Wednesday's Live with Kelly and Mark, where Ripa made sure to check in with her. "Welcome to the show. How are you doing? There's a lot going on with you," Ripa said. Paul replied, "Yeah, I've had better days, I will say." TMZ reported earlier this week that production on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Season 5 was put on pause due to a fight that became physical between Paul and her ex-boyfriend and baby daddy, Dakota Mortensen. A spokesperson for the Draper City Police Department informed people that there is an open domestic assault investigation. Allegations have been made in both directions, and contact was made with involved parties on February 24th and 25th. TMZ also reported of a glitch taking place during Live with Kelly and Mark's live East Coast broadcast right after Paul told Ripa that she's had better days. A representative for Live with Kelly and Mark told Decider that the glitch was a transmission error and that nothing was edited out of the interview. The conversation on Live swiftly transitioned to be about Paul's attendance at the Oscars. Ripa told Paul that she looked gorgeous, and the reality TV star continued to open up about the struggles she's faced amid the news in recent days. "Thank you. It took everything that day to get out of bed and make it there too," she revealed. "But that was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I was told that I was one of the first from reality TV to be invited. So I was like, I gotta go." As for whether Paul was starstruck by any of the celebrities present for Hollywood's biggest night, Paul said there were a few that she didn't know their names per se. "But honestly, that day was so heavy in itself, and so I showed up and it was a dream, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot going on," she added. "So it's been just hard, I will say." Ripa pointed out that Paul is the first bachelorette to never have appeared on The Bachelor in a previous season. "What did you think when they approached you? Did you anticipate this kind of whirlwind amount of attention? Did it give you pause?" she asked. Paul explained, "I don't think I even really realized the amount of attention it was going to give, to be honest. But I had posted about it recently just saying when I was given this opportunity, I thought it was a joke. I was like, are you guys messing with me a little bit? But you know, the person that presented the offer was just like, I hope you feel deserving just like we see you." And it meant a lot. Paul's appearance on Live took place shortly after she visited Good Morning America, where she admitted that it is hard to say if she will return to The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives because of everything going on. "It's hard to see past this, I'm not going to lie," she shared. "In this moment, it's just so heavy. When your life is broadcast out there in these headlines, it's like the end of the world. That's what it feels like, I'm not going to lie. But I've been here before and I got through it. I share my story and my life, so I'm hoping that I can do that again." Live with Kelly and Mark airs on weekdays. Check out their website for your local listings. The Bachelorette Season 22 premieres on Sunday, March 22nd on ABC, with next day streaming on Hulu. The studio lights felt harsher than usual. They always said television lighting was designed to flatter, to smooth over imperfections, to soften reality into something more palatable. But as Taylor Frankie Paul sat backstage, waiting to be called onto the set of Live with Kelly and Mark, it felt like those lights were exposing everything instead. Every mistake, every headline, every whispered judgment. She stared at her hands, clasped tightly in her lap, knuckles pale. 30 seconds, a producer called. 30 seconds until she had to smile. 30 seconds until she had to pretend she wasn't unraveling. Chapter 1, the headlines. It had started, as these things always did, with a notification. A buzz. A glance. A moment that changed everything. Her phone lit up with a message she didn't understand at first, then another, then 10, then hundreds. By the time she opened social media, it was already too late. Her name was everywhere. Not for her work. Not for her journey. Not for the things she had tried so hard to build. But for something darker. Something messy. Something that refused to stay private. The words hit her like a physical blow. Domestic violence allegations. She had read it again and again, as if repetition might soften it. It didn't. And then came the flood. Clips. Comments. Opinions from strangers who spoke like they knew her. Who judged her life in seconds. "They don't know anything," she had whispered to herself that night. But the world didn't need to know everything. It just needed enough. Chapter 2. The Weight of Mourning. Taylor. Her name pulled her back to the present. A production assistant gave her a reassuring smile. "You're on." She stood slowly, smoothing her dress, forcing her shoulders back. Confidence. That was the role now. She stepped onto the stage. Applause. It washed over her like distant thunder, loud, but strangely disconnected. Across from her sat Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, both smiling warmly. "Welcome to the show," Kelly began. "How are you doing? There's a lot going on with you." The question hung in the air. Simple. Impossible. Taylor let out a small breath. "Yeah," she said, her voice steady but soft. "I've had better days, I will say." It was honest. It was safe. It was only the surface. Chapter 3. Behind Closed Doors. The truth was messy, eh? It always was. The arguments with Dakota Mortensen hadn't started overnight. They had built slowly, like cracks forming in glass. At first, they were small. Misunderstandings. Stress. Words said too quickly, too sharply. Then louder. Then harder. Until one night, something broke. And when things break like that, they don't stay contained. Not when you're in the public eye. Not when your life is already being watched. The investigation. The reports. The speculation. Each one added another layer to the weight pressing down on her chest. And now it had followed her here. Onto a stage. Into the light. Chapter 4. The Glitch. For a moment, everything seemed to freeze. Not emotionally. Literally. A flicker. A pause. A strange silence as the broadcast glitched during the live East Coast airing. In that split second, Taylor's mind raced. Had something been cut? Had something slipped through? But then it was gone. Just a technical hiccup, they would later say. Nothing edited. Nothing hidden. And yet, to Taylor, it felt symbolic. Even reality itself seemed unstable. Chapter 5. The Night of Gold. Kelly shifted the conversation. "The Oscars," she said, smiling. "You look gorgeous." Taylor blinked, caught off guard. The Oscars. That felt like a lifetime ago. "Thank you," she said, a small smile forming. It took everything that day to get out of bed and make it there too. And that was the truth. She remembered standing in front of her mirror that night, staring at her reflection. "You can't go," part of her had whispered. "You have to," another part insisted. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. One of the first reality stars invited. A moment people dreamed of. So she went. Not because it was easy, but because she needed to prove to herself more than anyone that she still could. Chapter 6. The Illusion of Glamour. The red carpet had been dazzling. Flashes of cameras. Voices calling her name. Designers, actors, icons moving through the same space. It should have felt magical. And for a moment it did. But beneath the surface, something else lingered. A heaviness. "I feel like there's a lot going on," she admitted during the interview. Because even in a room full of stars, you can feel completely alone. Even in the brightest spotlight, you can feel lost in the dark. Chapter 7. The Unexpected Journey. "You're the first bachelorette who never appeared on The Bachelor," Kelly pointed out. Taylor nodded. It still felt surreal. When the offer came, she hadn't believed it. "I thought it was a joke," she admitted. "I was like, are you guys messing with me?" But it wasn't a joke. It was an opportunity. A chance to step into something bigger. A chance to rewrite her story. "I hope you feel deserving," they had told her. And in that moment she had. Or at least, she had tried to. Chapter 8. The Cost of Visibility. Fame had never been simple. But Taylor was learning just how complicated it could be. When your life is broadcast out there, she had said earlier on Good Morning America, it's like the end of the world. And it did feel like that. Like everything was collapsing at once. The show, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, was on pause. Her future uncertain. Her name entangled in narratives she couldn't fully control. "Will you go back?" people asked. She didn't have an answer. Not yet. Chapter 9. Strength in Fragments. Back on the set, Taylor straightened slightly. The conversation moved forward lighter now. Safer topics. But something had shifted. She had spoken. Even if only a little. Even if only carefully. And sometimes that was enough. Because strength doesn't always look like certainty. Sometimes it looks like showing up when everything inside you says not to. Chapter 10. After the applause. When the cameras stopped rolling, the applause faded. The smile softened. The performance ended. Taylor stepped off the stage, exhaling slowly. A producer thanked her. Someone handed her water. Normal things. Ordinary things. But nothing felt ordinary anymore. Chapter 11. The Quiet After. Later, alone in her dressing room, the silence felt almost overwhelming. No cameras. No questions. No expectations. Just her. She looked at her reflection again. This time, she didn't try to fix anything. Didn't adjust her hair. Didn't force a smile. She just looked. "You've been here before," she whispered to herself. And it was true. Not this exact situation. Not this exact storm. But she had faced darkness before. And she had made it through. Chapter 12. The Unknown Ahead. Outside, the world kept moving. Headlines would continue. Opinions would keep forming. The investigation would unfold. Her future, with television, with love, with everything, remained uncertain. But uncertainty wasn't the end. It was just not yet decided. Epilogue, still standing. The next morning, the sun rose like it always did. Unbothered. Unchanged. Taylor stood by the window, watching the light spread across the sky. It didn't erase what had happened. It didn't fix anything. But it reminded her of something simple. The world hadn't ended. Even if it felt like it had. She took a deep breath. And for the first time in days, it didn't feel quite so heavy.